I didn't learn cooperation from a job or a relationship or even from raising a kid. I learned it in a 12-person hostel room in Australia, arguing over $10 that was already ours to spend. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Christina. I was a full time nomad for 7 years, traveling across the US, Southeast Asia, and Europe. And these are some of my stories. Let's talk. All right, let me set the scene for you guys real quick. I, through a series of events, made my way to Australia. That's a story for another time. But I find myself in Australia and I start doing work exchange at a hostel. Work exchange means you do a little bit of work at the hostel in exchange for a place to stay because I was flat broke at that time. So I would make beds at the hostel every day in exchange for a room. Well, they're not going to give you the best room. They give you a bed in a 12-person dorm. Now, if you don't know, Australia is hot. It is so hot there. It's ridiculous. Well, at this hostel that I'm staying at, air conditioning costs $2 an hour. And every night, the front desk people come around to each room and give each room $10. It's $2 coins, and you just put the coin in, and that starts the air conditioning for an hour. Now, if you're in a single room, obviously you have complete control, or even if you're in a 4-person room with you and a couple friends. I was one person in a 12-bed dorm room. So every night they would come around and put 5 coins right on top of the air conditioning unit. And then everyone would just look at each other. And we had to figure out, when do we put the money in? And it was difficult because some girls would go out as a group. They would say, "Oh, we're going out tonight. We're leaving at like 8. We're not going to get back till like 1 a.m. So we don't want to put it until 1." Well, some people have a scuba diving excursion planned where they have to leave at 4 a.m. to get on the water. So they want the air conditioning started early in the night. Me, for example, I I was waking up early to watch American football. Yes, I was in Australia, but it was the playoffs. And so I was waking up at 6 a.m. to go out to the common area to watch American football. So I wanted to go to sleep early and have the money put in early. But every night we collectively, as a room, had to sit together and talk about, what are your plans for tomorrow? Are you going out? What time do you think we should put it in? And every night we had to agree, when does the money go in? When does the time start? And some people, if they lost out, because majority rules, if they wanted to, some people would put their own money in. I mean, $2 doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're staying in a hostel, especially in a 12-person room in a hostel, then you probably don't have that much extra to spare. So it was a great, great lesson in cooperation. And, it's hard enough for people to cooperate when it's free. But now we put money and comfort on the line, and it got tense. I mean, there were no fights, but there were strong personalities that emerged. And you have to really think about everyone in the room. If there was a particular strong personality, another person would have to kind of step up and say, "Hey, you know what? I know so and so has an excursion planned for tomorrow morning. So I think they wanted to start later. I'm doing this. I know they're going out," and be impartial and do what's best for the whole room. But that's really difficult to teach people, especially young 20 somethings. So There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of arguing. And each night we had to decide, when does the time start? People cooperate when it's something that they already want, but that's not really cooperation. That's just agreement, right? Real cooperation is considering everybody, considering the entire room and not just your own needs. And I learned that lesson from a dorm room in Australia and $10. I think about that experience a lot more than you would think, because it doesn't matter if you're at work or you're in a relationship or within a family dynamic. That lesson comes into play, right? About cooperation and thinking of others and doing what's best for the whole, not just for the self, right? And that is a skill that travel teaches you faster than anything else, right? Because travel is not about staying comfortable. It's about adapting and learning how to adapt and constantly, daily stepping out of your comfort zone so you can grow. If you've ever had a situation like this where a small lesson taught you way more than you thought it was going to, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. And if you're someone who's trying to live more intentionally, whether it be through travel or just in your everyday life, then stick around. That's what this channel is all about. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.